Once upon a time, the Martins family lived in a large, beautiful house in the heart of Lagos. From the outside, they seemed perfect. Mr. Martins was a well-known businessman, always traveling for work. Mrs. Martins was a fashion influencer, constantly busy with events and photo shoots. But inside the house, it was Edith, the maid, who truly held things together. Edith had been with the family for 6 years, arriving just after the birth of their second child. She cooked, cleaned, helped with homework, nursed the kids when they were sick, and even stayed up late during their nightmares. The children, David, who was 9, Zara was 6, and baby Oria, loved her deeply. They didn't call her auntie like most maids. They called her Mama. At first, it amused Mrs. Martins. But over time, she began to frown whenever she heard it. Mrs. Martins rarely interacted with her kids beyond staged Instagram videos. She would smile for the camera, pick her up, whisper sweet things, but nothing for the clip, and then pass her back to Edith once the post went live. Mr. Martins, though kind, was practically a stranger, only present in pictures on the walls. Edith knew everything about the children, their fears, their favorite meals, even Zora's peanut allergy. She never forgot to tuck little notes into David's lunchbox, and every night, she sang gentle Ibabio lullabies to Oria. The children adored her. They held on to her like vines on a tree, finding comfort and safety in her presence. But even with all the love she gave, Edith often reminded herself that she was just the maid. Still, on quiet nights, as she watched the children sleeping peacefully, her heart ached, not as a worker's, but like a real mother's would. One evening, after Zara called out Mama, while showing Edith a drawing of their family, with her at the center, Mrs. Martin snapped. "Stop calling her that. She's not your mother," she yelled, yanking the paper and tearing it in two. The children burst into tears, and Edith stood frozen, her own heart shattering silently. That night, Edith packed her small box in the servants' quarters. She had tolerated the coldness, and been looking down on. But hurting the children this way was too much. She did not say goodbye. She just left a note on David's study table that read, "Always be kind. I will miss you." Before dawn, she was gone. The house changed overnight. Zara refused to eat. David locked himself in his room and didn't speak for days. Baby Oria cried and cried, refusing to let anyone else carry her. Mrs. Martins tried to act unbothered at first, blaming Edith's unprofessionalism, but the guilt crept in like a cold wind under the door. Dishes piled up. Homework was forgotten. Oria got sick, and no one knew where her medicine was kept. Even Mr. Martins, usually passive, grew angry when he returned from a trip to see the chaos. "What happened here?" he asked. Mrs. Martins had no answer. She looked around at the broken crayons, the empty kitchen, the tear-stained pillows, and realized she had lost control long before Edith left. Desperate, Mrs. Martins tried to hire another maid, but none lasted more than a week. The children rejected them all, crying and screaming, "You're not Mama." One afternoon, David packed a bag with bread and a water bottle. He told Zara, "We are going to find her." The two children walked to the estate gate, holding hands, until a neighbor found them and called their father. That night, Mr. Martin sat the family down. "We have to fix this," he said. He began searching for Edith's village, tracing old payment records and calling her references. Mrs. Martin sat quietly, no longer proud. The home had become a shell, echoing with absence. They didn't want a replacement. They wanted their Mama back. After 2 weeks, they found her in a small town outside Calabar, living with her aging aunt. Mr. Martins went to see her first. He apologized, humbled and sincere. "The children miss you." "We all do." Edith hesitated. She had found peace, but her heart was restless. That night, she dreamed of David's drawings, Zara's hugs, Aria's soft laugh. When she returned, the children ran into her arms with a force that nearly knocked her down. "Mama!" they cried over and over. Even Mrs. Martens cried real tears for the first time in years. She embraced Edith, whispering, "Thank you for loving them when I couldn't." Edith held the children, her children, in every way that mattered. The house felt whole again after a long time. This story teaches that true parenting is not about biology or status, it's about presence, care, and unconditional love. Edith was just the maid, but she gave the children what their own parents did not: attention, comfort, and emotional connection. It also reminds us not to overlook the quiet heroes in our lives, and that pride and ego can blind us to what truly matters: family, humility, and gratitude. Ultimately, healing begins when we recognize our failures and choose love over image. And always be present in the kids' lives. I hope you enjoyed the story.